Seattle in a day. And yes, I'm wearing my rain hat, and it's not raining because the day we were in Seattle, it did not rain, and I packed this really cute hat. Before we go on cruises, get to spend one full day in Seattle before you board your fantastic Alaskan Inside Passage cruise. So if you only have one day in Seattle, this is my guide on how to get the most out of Seattle in one day. I stayed at the Motif Hotel. It's a Hyatt hotel right smack middle in downtown Seattle. So it's MOTIF. The rates were really good. It's kind of like a small boutique-y feel hotel. Wonderful staff, extremely friendly, wonderful service. There is a fantastic rooftop bar and restaurant on the 5th floor of the hotel. We were lucky enough to actually get our room on the 5th floor, so we enjoyed breakfast there as well as afternoon cocktails. Right underneath the Motif Hotel in downtown Seattle is a restaurant called Elephant and Castle. It's like a kind of a British pub style. Go there. It might not be one of the top things on TripAdvisor or a tourist attraction. It's a wonderful place if you want the best clam chowder ever, a club sandwich, a burger, or a beer. It's kind of got an open air vibe. It's underneath the hotel, so you still get that breeze and that fresh, wonderful air. So, okay, you wake up in the morning and you need coffee, right? I mean, this is the home of Starbucks. Grabbed me a nice big latte and started my walk from the hotel to Pike's Place. You got to go to Pike's Place. Yes, it's touristy. Yeah, they throw the fish, but you know what? It's a lot of damn fun. One of the things I want to really, really push you guys to do is get back into the city, because after COVID, a lot of these shops and the stores and all the folks working in the restaurants, they need you to visit. I went to Pike's Place, and for me, the number one thing that I loved were the flowers. It was like going to an amusement park for botanists. I mean, the most beautiful peonies. We just happened to be there in the month of June, so we had a just plethora of the most beautiful peonies. I wanted to buy a bouquet so bad, it was absolutely killing me, but we were going on the cruise ship the next day, so I didn't have anywhere to put this beautiful bouquet for like $10. We found a place where you could get these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dried bouquets. Look at these. Dried bouquets, and they can ship. So let me show you the website. It's marketdriedflowers.com. Great idea if you want to bring a little bit of Seattle home and keep it forever. Debbie and I decided that we wanted to go walk to Pike's Place. The boys are looking at some private car collection because, you know, that's what boys do. But you guys, look at this. Oh my gosh. In the market, we found, what's it called? Crepes de France. Crepes de France. Got some coffee. Yeah, we're sharing. One savory, one sweet. Really good. We did a ham and cheese one for the savory, but in season were the fresh peach crepes. And I don't think I've ever had peaches taste that fantastic in my life. They are ginormous, so if you do order one, you can share it. There was just Debbie and I that morning, and we, of course, had to try both, so we had lots left over. That was my fun part, really, about Pike's Place. I mean, you don't need to spend over an hour there. It's fun just to kind of walk around. They've got all kinds of frozen apple ciders, all kinds of food. So just enjoy just walking around and adventuring, and take time to smell the flowers for sure. Then the boys finally decided they would meet us. So we decided that we would walk from Pike's Place to the SpaceNeedle. Now, it is a bit of a walk. I didn't find it hard. Just give yourself 30 minutes to kind of take your time. But we walked to the SpaceNeedle. Now, one thing I did do is I bought a combined ticket, which if you go online and Google search it, you do save money if you want to see Chihuly Museum and the SpaceNeedle experience. So you can buy a combined ticket, and they do give you a time. please be on time. They really do pay attention because there are so many people trying to get up in the SpaceNeedle, and they only have so many elevators to get you up and down. So it's very important that you are on time for your slotted allotment. We were, I think, 2 o'clock, and because the Chihuly Museum that day was being closed for a private event, they suggested we go to Chihuly first, which we did, and then it took about maybe an hour. It's not that big. It's awe-inspiring. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I probably could have spent more time in the outside gardens than maybe the inside of Chihuly, but it was definitely worth just looking at the beautiful art and the different colors of glass. But the outside for me was a little more spectacular because how they kind of implemented blown glass into real plants and the environment. And one thing I still didn't get to ask is, how does that glass not break when it storms and there's high winds? I don't know. It was gorgeous. So after that, we got in line for the SpaceNeedle. Now, you do have to wait in line even if you have a ticket and an appointment. It takes about 45 minutes to actually get to the elevator and get up to that part of the SpaceNeedle, but it's definitely worth the adventure. But once you get up there and outside, enjoy the views. We were extremely lucky. It didn't rain. It was a beautiful, clear day, so we had a magnificent view. The one thing that I really hate that we didn't get to do is eat in the restaurant. So once you get up to the SpaceNeedle, you can grab a beer or a glass of wine and walk around, but they do have a little teeny tiny small little restaurant. And if you pre-book, and like I say, you have to pre-book, you can experience dinner up there or lunch up there, or they have a wine experience where you can buy a glass of wine, and it's part of the rotating lower portion of the SpaceNeedle. So you could literally sit there and enjoy your wine for a good hour, hour and a half or two, and just take in the view as it slowly rotates, showing you all the magnificent views that Seattle has to offer. I wanted to kick myself in the booty. I'm such a pre-planner, and we tried and begged to get in, but they were slam packed, which leads into, if you're going to spend a full day in Seattle, just make a reservation now. You guys, you don't understand. I started making reservations a week before. I couldn't get into Japanesa, which is a really good sushi restaurant. 2 other sushi restaurants that were high on the TripAdvisor recommended list, I couldn't get into those either. So make your reservations in advance and just enjoy yourself. One other thing that I wanted to throw in there is, after you get back from the SpaceNeedle, you've done Pike's Place, you've done Chihuly, you've done the SpaceNeedle, enjoy your hotel. The Hyatt Motif had that rooftop bar. We sat out there under an umbrella with the sun shining and enjoyed a margarita before we had to go to dinner. We even had time for a little nap. So I think that's a great way to see Seattle, and some of my advice on how to take in the biggest tourist traps that Seattle has to offer and actually enjoy them.